Phil Knight and Nike have bought the Arizona Cardinals. Instead of them staying in Glendale, Arizona, they will be locating or relocating to the Eugene or Portland area, somewhere in Oregon. Oregon is the home to Nike and the founder and owner of Nike. This news is obviously shocking to Glendale and the state of Arizona. Apparently, Phil Knight inadvertently skirted some rules with other NFL teams' owners before the sale was approved, though. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell found out shortly after the sale of the Cardinals to Nike. As punishment for Knight's actions, his team, which will be called the Oregon Ducks, will face disciplinary actions, including being forced to trade the Cardinals or the Ducks' top 2 players, as well as their starting quarterback. Arizona state officials are looking into suing Nike for violating their agreement with the previous ownership of the Cardinals. Phil Knight stated that if Arizona officials wish to sue him, that he will pull all Nike outlets from Arizona, as well as all Nike shoes and apparel sold anywhere in the state. If someone with an Arizona address attempts to order Nike apparel and or shoes online, that any attempt or order would be rejected or canceled. The NFL commissioner thought that forcing the Cardinals or the Ducks to trade 3 of their top players would drive their prices down, therefore penalizing Phil Knight and Nike even more. After all, each team would know that the Cardinals were required to trade 3 of their top players. But in fact, it had the opposite effect, as each team knew that the Cardinals were required to trade 3 of their top players, and so there began to be a bit of a bidding war for players that normally would not maybe be traded for. Kyler Murray is only a 79 overall with a dev trait. If he has one good season, he could be in the mid 80s. If he doesn't, tough luck for Cleveland. But how this started out was that Cleveland offered a 2nd round pick for Kyler Murray, which seemed harmless at the time and seemed acceptable. But then the Steelers, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Vikings jumped in, and it drove the price up to 2 second-round picks. This is an example right here of what the commissioner thought was going to be a penalty for the now Ducks. It in fact has flipped, at least in this case, and we'll see in the next 2 trades how it works, but I would suspect that it would work very much the same way. The first teams to call the Ducks about Buda Baker were surprisingly the Eagles and the Texans. There were aggressive offers that came in from the Cowboys as well. The Bills were involved. The Dolphins. The Cardinals asked for a 1st-round pick. The best Dallas would do was the worst of their 2 first-round picks. So basically the Green Bay pick, and it's supposed to be around 20, and then they offered a 3rd. When you have an X factor, strong safety that's a 90 overall, it immediately makes your team better, especially when your top 2 needs are free safety and strong safety. So Buda Baker goes to the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones gets his guy. So what is a 97 overall, 25-year-old superstar tight end worth? Maybe 2 firsts, maybe a 1st and 2 seconds. Well, let me tell you, this was a player that about half the teams in the NFL called about. At first, the Eagles, it appeared, were going to give up the draft capital necessary. 2 firsts became the lot, and then the Eagles threw in their 2nd-round pick to sweeten the deal, knowing that their 1st-round picks and their 2nd would be at the last of the draft or near the end of each round. At the last minute, the Rams came in and offered their firsts for the next 2 years when they put Atlanta's pick that they had received last year on the table, which could end up being in the 8 to 10 range. So the Rams offer was pretty much unbeatable. So the price is high, but it was driven up by other teams. And so that is the cost for Trey McBride. The good thing is they got to keep Paris Johnson at left tackle and a few other players like Marvin Harrison Jr. that I think will end up being very helpful to the team. And for you guys that don't know, let me introduce you to Walter Nolan. This is going to be, hopefully for them, the next stud interior defensive lineman. He's already an 82. He looks like he's going to be elite. If we can get Harrison to start looking more like his dad and less like a bust, then I think he'll deserve that superstar X factor. We will soon find out. Let's look at how our players did this year. Yes, we picked up Malik Willis for maybe 2/3. I can't remember what the going cost for him was. He was a 71 when we got him. And look at his season. Not very good. But he also was sacked 55 times. And anyone who knows or has played with Malik Willis, the dude can run. He is fast. And so if anyone can get away from blitzers, it's Malik Willis. And if he gets sacked 55 times, that's my problem. I've got to get some help on the offensive line to help him out. As you guys know, we had to get rid of our quarterback. We actually got rid of both quarterbacks that we had. And so we went with Malik Willis to see what he could do. He's improved over the season, but he still is a normal dev trait. And yes, aren't those some sweet Oregon uniforms? Just wait, guys. I've got plenty more where they came from. But Malik Willis is 25. He did okay. Obviously, the 21 interceptions is hard to swallow. The 246 yards passing is amazing. 55 sacks is unacceptable, but he's going to be fun to play with. Let's look at the rushing game. Trey Benson, first-year player out of Florida State, 547 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, which is just terrible. 7 TDs, 2 fumbles. Malik Willis, 265 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, and 1 TD. Receiving, Marvin Harrison Jr. The question was, is he a bust or is he going to break out? Well, he broke out in this universe. 98 catches, 1,283 yards, and 11 TDs. Look at Michael Wilson, 100 catches, 1,145 yards, and 5 TDs. And then even Zay Jones, who probably doesn't have a future with us, but 66 catches and 7 TDs. And then we signed Taysom Hill just to have a tight end for Malik Willis to throw to. Because to be honest with you, I think our best tight end was maybe at 66 or something like that. Akeem Davis Gaither led our team in tackles with 181. How does a man almost get 200 tackles in a year and nobody knows who he is? The one thing the guy can do is tackle. And the dude had 10 tackles for loss too, 9 pass deflections. So the dude can play. Sean Murphy Bunting. We wanted to give our young corners some more PT. So we moved Murphy Bunting to strong safety after we had to get rid of our strong safety, as you guys saw. And look what he did. 133 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Mac Wilson Senior, 132 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. And unless you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, you probably wonder are these guys NFL players? Well, they are, and they played well for us this year. Garrett Williams, 120 tackles. Not great when your cornerbacks and your safeties are getting most of your tackles, but you got to hand it to Davis Gaither for blowing it up with 181 tackles. That is legit. The rookie, Mr. Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, 6'4", 300 pounds, had 88 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 18.5 sacks. If that dude doesn't win Rookie of the Year, then I'll just quit and I will not go any further than this. That is a crazy season. I played no games. I just simmed the season, and he was masterful. I made some small trades to get rid of some guys that were not in our future, and so if you are missing some names on this board, that's why. But Jordan Birch, the rookie from Oregon, maybe why he did so well. He was playing right across the street from his home stadium. Instead of Autzen Stadium, he now plays at Nike Autzen Stadium. But he had 9 sacks this year. And there's Zaven Collins with 8, Josh Sweat with 7.5. So the question becomes, do we need to get an edge rusher? Zaven Collins is 26. He's only a 77, and that's the best he's ever done. Let's look at Josh Sweat. Not his best, but he is getting up there in age. And look at that contract. Wow. For that kind of money in 2028-29, we should be getting about 20 sacks a season, I'd say. 2 picks by Will Johnson, our second-round rookie out of Michigan. How he fell to the Cardinals in the second round, being 6'2", 200 pounds, is mystifying to me. Garrett Williams played well. He had a pick. And Denzel Burt, the Ohio State rookie that really fell maybe to the 4th round. I can't remember exactly, but he had a solid season for us as our nickel corner. We've got needs pretty much everywhere. Let's look at yearly awards. No MVP votes. That's okay. No Coach of the Year votes. Marvin Harrison Jr. was 5th in Offensive Player of the Year. Walter Nolan wins Defensive Player of the Year. That is amazing. I knew he would win Rookie of the Year, but to win the actual Defensive Player of the Year over guys like Micah Parsons and Hutchinson, that is sick, man. Buda Baker, I looked at him at one time and he had 7 INTs. And I don't know if he finished with 9, but that's why he's 10th and as a safety in Defensive Player of the Year awards. Walter Nolan, of course, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then our man, Jordan Birch, finishes 8th. So nice job by both of those guys, but especially Nolan. He's going to be a beast. Look at Atlanta, 3-14. Oh my gosh. I hope that's the pick we got. Let's see if any Ducks made the Pro Bowl. Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver number 1. There's Walter Nolan, the number 1 defensive tackle. There's Buda Baker at a 91 overall. Malik Willis stays normal development, which is what I expected, but I had hoped that they would have mercy on him. Look at Marvin Harrison, 94 X Factor, and Wilson is a superstar. Paris Johnson, an 88, but down for morale, and he's only star development, and he stayed star development. Yeah, we've got to do something to replace these guys. So obviously Walter Nolan is a X factor. Walter Nolan has 5 skill points. I'm using them almost I want to say all on nose tackle. Make him the sickest nose tackle in the league, where he plugs holes and they have to double team him. If that has to happen and it lets other guys, get the sacks or the tackles for loss, then he's doing his job, right? Superstar X Factor rookie, man. That is crazy. Marvin Harrison Jr. got 1 skill point, I guess, for making the Pro Bowl. That's all you get is 1 skill point. So he goes up to a 90. Superstar X Factor. So it was Hollywood versus Hollywood, and the Chargers come out on top 37-31. Justin Herbert gets his Super Bowl and the first for the Chargers ever. Oh my goodness. We have the 3rd pick and the 5th pick. That's what I'm talking about. And then we pick 16th. That is amazing. And just to let you guys know, we went ahead and filled our coaching staff with Kevin Stefanski as our offensive coordinator. And Pete Carroll, some people don't think of him as a defensive coordinator, but he's very strong as a defensive coordinator. So why not bring him into the fold, even if he's going to retire next year? So we will happily accept the option on Paris Johnson Jr. We're going to have to let Zay Jones and his weird eyes go. Jaron Reed was 1 year for hire. So was Shaquille Griffin. Thanks for your mentoring skills. I appreciate it. Will Hernandez, what's up? UTEP. Levi Wallace, thank you for your mentoring skills as well. Josh Carty, he can go. This may be the worst I've ever seen the free agent class in the first year even. DJ Reader, 32. Look at all the love they have for going to Oregon. What's so wrong with Oregon? You guys will get decked out with all kinds of Nike gear so much. You'll be giving it to your family, your relatives, all kinds of people. Even though I don't necessarily run an offense with a fullback, I like to get a fullback, so I think I may try to get Reggie Gilliam just for those times where maybe it's 3rd and goal at the 1 yard line and you need a solid fullback in there. It's nice to have a guy like Gilliam. Well, the only one that I see that interests me is Batonio, and he hates us so bad. All right, we're going to make this worth your while. So we got the 2 guys that we were going after. I'll move McGovern over to a right guard. If we can draft a tackle in the draft, then we should have a solid line all of a sudden. And Gilliam, we lowballed him because we ran out of money. These are all 3 just 1 year deals. Actually, I take that back. McGovern is a 2 year deal, but Batonio was the most money. And if he doesn't work out, then, he may retire anyway. It looks like we will not be getting Reggie Gilliam. Our 6'3", 305-pound fullback, Refrigerator Perry, is back, baby. Here is the official lineup. 88 left tackle. 83 left guard, 84 center, 81 right guard, 69 right tackle, 71 tight end. On those 3rd and goals at the 1 yard line, we've got Ricard, the 300-pound, 6'3", somehow 300-pound man. That's awesome. They have Birch playing, starting at defensive tackle and left edge. He is gifted for sure. So they're saying we need a defensive tackle, I think. So mock draft 5 has Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. No change here with Peter Woods going to the Jets. And I have to ask for your guys' forgiveness. I found a draft class that I like to use, and it supposedly had taken out Dante Moore, but there were bugs with it, and I just didn't feel comfortable starting this with those bugs in it. But otherwise, it should be copacetic. So it has us taking Ruben Bain Jr. Could he play defensive tackle for us? We definitely need Jeremiah Love. I hate that we would have to take him at 5. In some drafts, he doesn't even go in the first round. And I would wonder how far he would fall if we didn't pick him at 5. Wow, it has Kenyon Sadiq flying into the first round, Oregon Duck style, thinking we're going to take Kenyon Sadiq in the first round. I thought we could get him in the second round. Now we're going to have to take him in the first round. We've got to get Caden Proctor. We need a right tackle. The NFL draft. This is where we can turn ourselves from chumps into champs. So what we have decided to do is we are not going to go after the defensive tackle Peter Woods. We are going to stick and pick with the BPA. Reuben Bain Jr. goes first to the Raiders. They don't take Fernando Mendoza. Well, that throws a wrench into things. 2 seconds next year to ensure that we get the defensive tackle that we so desperately need. Not enough. Actually, let's do a 4th and a 5th. Done deal. Man, I hated to do that. We gave up extremely valuable picks for next year, but we have to go get our guy, and that's the top 5 talent in Peter Woods. Look at him. He looks not generational, but he looks phenomenal. Number 4th in true value. Peter Woods, hidden dev. That's phenomenal. 94 strength, 87 acceleration. And of course, the Jets go Fernando Mendoza. We could have just stuck and picked, but we had no idea they were going to go Fernando Mendoza. Defensive tackle was a huge need for them. They were mocked Peter Woods. We have to go with our guy here. It's a little high to be taking a halfback, but he is 6 foot 220, 434, 40. He's gonna be sensational. Number 1 in true value. He could be generational, guys. Hidden dev, 95 speed, 95 acceleration. As you guys can see, we moved back into the first round. We already had that pick in the mid-teens with the mock draft showing us drafting Kenyon Sadiq. We didn't want him to go somewhere after us because we really need a tackle desperately. So our guy is still there, and that is Caden Proctor, the 6'7", 365-pound tackle from Alabama. He is the strongest tackle in the draft, and he has elite agility and elite change of direction. A+ pick, 13th in true value. Hidden dev, 97 strength. And then we're back on the board after mortgaging some of our draft capital for next year and the year after. But we felt like we just couldn't wait, even though arguably Eli Stowers is right there, the former New Mexico State tight end. But we have to go Kenyon Sadiq. He is easily the best tight end in the draft, and he just has to go across the street to the new facility. He should be really good. Maybe not great to start off. It's hard to know. We didn't really scout him, but he should be the best tight end we can get in the draft. And look at that top fit. Number 1, Oregon, 41 in true value. See, so B- pick, but we needed a tight end desperately. Hidden dev, that's huge. We had 3 second-round picks, and we moved up to have the 33rd and the 34th pick. So Anthony Hill Jr. should be there. Bengals should be happy with this selection, as he is a Texas guy. Check this dude out. 6'3", 238, 21 years old, 6'3", 238, and look at his 40-yard dash, 4.38. And look to the left, elite, 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 and elite. Welcome to Oregon, Anthony Hill Jr. Ranked number 11 in true value. How he's not ranked higher, I don't know. And hidden dev, 92 speed for a Mike linebacker, 93 acceleration. And then I think we need a game breaker. We need a guy to add to our 2 wide receivers that can bring a little bit different skill set. He's 6'3", 196. He's 21 from the Ohio State. He ran a 4.37 40 at his college pro day, and his speed is good. He's 6'3", and he ran a 4.37. Got to work on his catching a little bit, even though his catching is A. But deep route, short route, so I guess his route running release is a D. Ranked 14th in true value, A+ pick. We were ordered to go out and get the best players that we could in the draft, and I believe we have. Let's see the draft board and see if a corner is still there. I can't believe Arvell Reese is still there. Oh man, I've never had Nick Harbor, but man, would I love to have Nick Harbor. Catching traffic is D, catching D, deep route D, release B. He's 21, he's 6'5", he ran a 4.24. We had to give up our 2028 second round pick, but hopefully it is worth it. We could have waited a little while longer. I like McNeil Warren too, at least in real life. Just think, guys, 6'5", 4.24. If this was last year at this time and you played in an online league, guys would be doing everything they could to move up to the first pick in the draft to draft this guy, because a 6'5" dude that's 4.24 40 and can jump out of the gym. Nick Harbor is the pick. 52 in true value. Speed burner, fantastic leaping ability, serviceable hands. Hidden dev, 99 speed. Enough said. We'll teach him to do the other stuff. We need a kicker. Dominic Zavada. Look at that. A, kick accuracy. A, awareness. Elite strength. 36 in true value. Normal dev. Only 89 kick power. Wow. And then our last pick should be used on a punter, so we'll go with Devin Bale, I guess. 138th in true value. Outstanding leg to boom punts. Good directional punter. Hidden dev. Wow. 95 kick power. The Oregon Ducks have finished off what I feel like was a phenomenal draft. Now, we had a lot of firsts and a couple seconds. Boom. Peter Woods, 79 overall. He'll be massive. We have 2 of the best young defensive tackles in the league, if not the 2 best. Jeremiah Love, 83. I wouldn't have minded if he was an 85 or an 87, but I'll take 83. Caden Proctor, 77. Hey, we already know what Sadiq looks like in an Oregon uniform, right? Anthony Hill Jr. He's going to be a monster. 4.38 speed or whatever it was. Carnell Tate, 77. And Nick Harbor, 99 speed. Number 8, 6'5", 99 speed. We're going to have to see if this guy can be place kicker. Awareness, 48. Thank you all for watching the first episode of the Oregon Ducks franchise in Madden 26. Please join me next time for episode number 2, where we should get into some gameplay officially, even though it's season 2. It'll be the first season that we'll be playing with the Ducks. So thanks so much for watching this episode. If you would, please smash that subscribe button and hit that noti bell. Also smash that like button if you would. That helps the channel out so much. And leave me comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And I just appreciate you guys so much for watching, for making it this far in the video. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care.